All right, class, hello, and welcome to the lesson. Uh, Before I get started, just a few things I want to say. So these online lessons are uh, done to be very much like the kind of lesson you would get in the classroom. So if you can do this lesson with somebody, either together or on Kakao, that's usually a good idea. Also, if you're having trouble hearing me, it's a good idea to use earbuds or headphones. That way you'll have a better chance of hearing me. If you're still having problems, you can, of course, always email or message me. Also, it's a good idea to have your pen or pencil and some paper nearby to do some of the activities. And also, um, if you do have the textbook, it's good to have that around because usually there will be some textbook work to do. The last thing is when you're doing this, don't forget that, sorry, I forgot to start my timer. Just give me a moment. Okay. When you're doing this, don't forget that eClass will, if you go too fast, if you try to make the video go faster or move the video forward, um, eClass will not count you as attending. So you just need to start the video and then just let the video keep going. Don't try to change anything. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to work with your group, and I want you to read the sentence, or you can do this alone, sorry. Work with your group or do this alone. And I want you to read the sentences and pick which event happened first. So we have the example here. Jamie bought a new computer. Jamie had found some money. So you have to think about it. Which one probably happened first? Well, if I'm going to buy a computer, I probably need some money. So I'm going to guess that that one happened first, right? All right, so here are your questions to answer. I'll give you 3 minutes, about 1 minute for each to figure it out. So ready, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, class. I'm just actually going to cut it there a little bit early because I think that's more than enough time, actually. So let's go ahead and check. So the first one, the dog had destroyed my homework. I went to class. Sad, sad, sad. Uh, the second one, I wanted some pizza. You had already eaten all of it. That one, you had already eaten it, all of it. So pizza was gone. It's very sad. And the last one, my friend had broken a bone. He went to the hospital, and so he went to the hospital. That was or sorry, friend had broken the bone. That was the event that happened first. Okay. So do all the events happen in the past? I'll give you just 10 seconds to think about that. Yeah, you probably guessed yes, right? Yeah, so everything happens in the past. What is different about the older events? I'll give you just 30 seconds to think about that. Sorry, class, that's my dog barking. Sorry, stop. Okay, so you probably figured it out already. The verb starts with had, right? Had destroyed, had already eaten, had broken. We wouldn't really consider already part of the verb. Just to be clear, this is an adverb, but you'll often see this, that some adverbs are go between had and the past participle. So like eaten, broken, taken, made, or not made, well, made, not making. So sometimes you'll see adverbs like that. So just be ready for that. So we use the past perfect form to explain the order of two past events. So the past perfect event usually happens first. Excuse me. And the simple past happens second. Which event is older, the past perfect or the simple past? So I'll give you 30 seconds to think about this. Okay. Excuse me. So you probably figured out the past perfect is older, right? If it happened first, that means it's older, right? So sometimes we can use time words to put the past perfect and simple past sentences together. So we can make them into one sentence. So in the example that I have here, it says, the dog had destroyed my homework. I went to class. So went is the, actually all of this is blue. It should just only be had destroyed is black. I did not make this well. All right. And then, so had destroyed is the past perfect. Went is the simple past. So we know that went happened second, had destroyed happened first. Okay. So what I want you to do is try to figure out which time word will best work here. And when you're trying to think about this, remember that this is already finished. And then this happened next, right? So you're going to go to, where's my book? Page 117. And you're going to try to pick which of the time words or phrases you want to use. So when, before, hold on, let me erase that. So when, that doesn't look good. Sorry. I'm not very good with my highlighter. There we go. When, before, by the time, and until. Okay, so you need to pick one of these four to go here. And it's a good idea to look at the examples here, right? So we have until, right? And by the time, and before, and Okay. So just these are pretty good examples and help you get a good idea of which time word or phrase work best here. So I'll give you just 1 minute to think about this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Maybe I can do side by side. Wait, let me try this again. Hold on. There we go. Oh, all right. Looks like I lost track of time. So correct answer is before. So, I mean, the one thing you have to think about when you're deciding which one to use is, I mean, technically you could say when, right? The dog had destroyed my homework when I went to class, or by the time I went to class. That could also work. But before works better than all of those. Um because it's kind of emphasizing that the dog had destroyed the homework already. Um, so when you're thinking about what time word or time phrase to use, think about what is trying to be emphasized or what is trying to be focused on in the past perfect. So let's look at number 2 and number 3. Let's try this again. You had already eaten all of it, blank, I wanted some pizza. My friend had broken a bone, blank, he went to the hospital. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about this. So ready, excuse me, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so you probably figured it out. Uh, you had already eaten all of it by the time I wanted some pizza. I could even say, you could probably even say when I wanted some pizza. Um, so in this case, it's emphasizing the fact that I wanted some pizza, but it was already gone. right? My friend had broken a bone before he went to the hospital. So that actually just kind of makes sense. Uh, uh, if it said my friend had already broken a bone, then we would probably use, well, you could still use before, but we could also use when then. It would be a little more, that could also be suitable. But for now, since there's no already, uh, I would say when would not work, before would be better here. Okay, so let's move on and do a little activity. So you're going to work with your group and you're going to use the time, word, and phrase and the order to make a sentence. However, when there is no time, word, or phrase, just make two sentences. So you can see in the example that I have here, this is what you'll see. It'll say, so you have the order, past perfect, plus, and then the underlined part, this is the time, word, or phrase, and then plus simple past. So um, because of this time, word, and phrase, we're just going to make one sentence. If this is not here, you would make two sentences, just kind of like the examples that I showed you at the very beginning of this lesson. Let me make this bigger. All right, so we had studied until class started. All right. All right, so remember, so you take a look at this, you're gonna have to start with a simple past, then you're gonna have to use a time, word, or phrase, then past perfect. So I'll give you 2 minutes to work on this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so you probably have your own answer, but here's what yours should kind of look like, right? So this one, the game finished before we had gotten into the stadium. So I used before, but you don't have to use before. Remember, there's plenty of other choices, right? But this just worked for my sentence. So simple past and then past perfect here. Okay, so let's try another one. So you're going to just write past perfect and simple past. And hint, there is no time, word, or phrase. So I'll give you 2 minutes for this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's probably enough time. So here's my example. Jim's car had broken down near his house. He walked home. Boom, done. Very simple. So past perfect and simple past. All right, and simple past plus past perfect. So I'll give you 2 minutes for this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so let's go ahead and check and see what you came up with. Here's my example. The train left the station. My friend had already left. Kind of a sad one, right? So the simple past comes first, but my friend had already left. So in this case, um, it sounds it sounds confusing, right? Because it sounds like my friend left on the train, but that's not the case. So my friend was. It sounds like my friend was supposed to meet me at the train station, but had already left. And then I was actually on the train, and then the train left. So this would happen first, which means I didn't get to say goodbye to my friend because I'm on the train that has already left the station. So uh, it is a little confusing, but you have to think about it, right? Um, so this is a good example because uh, right now we've just been making just two sentences, and usually that doesn't really always make sense if you're just looking at the two sentences. So you have to think about what are the possible events or the possible, yeah, what is like the story that these sentences belong in. So when you think about that, then you can see why one event happens first and the other event happens second. So it takes a little bit of thinking, and you do have to be careful. Uh, um, but as long as you can picture a story where both sentences work, then you know you did it right. So let's go ahead and do some more practice. Let's open our books. So we're going back. I'm just going to make mine bigger. Going back to page 117. And for this, you're going to read the sentence pairs. And next to each sentence, there's like a little line, a little dash line. And then you're going to write the which one happened first and which one happened second. Uh, so this can be a little tricky because if we look at the examples here, right? This one retired, began research on a new area of interest. So in this one, they're both simple past. So you have to really think about which one is most likely to happen first. Obviously, if he's not going to start research and then retire, right? So that's why this one is first. And we know that it also makes sense that this one is second because it's a new area of interest. Oops, that's not a good underline, but it's a new area of interest. And because of that, we can guess that it's not the same as his old science. So this new area is not the same as the science that he studied before. And then after you finish putting the order together, you're going to use the word in the brackets to put the two sentences together. Yeah. Okay, so there's actually quite a few of these questions. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm actually going to give you a lot of time for this. I'm going to give you about, I'll give you 6 minutes to work on this. So ready, 3, 2, 1, go. stop, stop, stop. Okay, class. Just realized I need a little bit of a paper to write my answers on, so that's why I opened up this window. So let me this a little bigger. There we go. Okay, so in this, it seems clear that this one would be first, and this one would be second, right? So, so it's like saying I didn't know about this person, Brunoia. I don't know if that's right, Barry. I read the article, so this would probably happen first. And when you're making these sentences, I forgot to explain that you need to use the past perfect. So I'll give you the answer for number 2. So I hadn't heard about Noia Berry until I read the article. Okay. So I hadn't heard, right? So yeah, we're going to change these. We're going to change. So sometimes we have to change it to make, or change the simple past verb to make it fit. So we need to change the past perfect. So let's go on to the next page. Number 3, it started to rain. We finished hiking. So let's see. So probably this would happen first. And then this would happen. Actually, no, wait a moment. What am I saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah, this would happen first. Oh, wait, let me think. No? I guess this one could go either way, really. Yeah, this could go either way. So this one could be first, and this one could be second, or this one could be second, and this one could be first. Because if we're going to use the word before, right? In this case, we don't have a lot of information to go on, so both could be right? It started to rain before we finished hiking, and or we had finished hiking before it started to rain. Oops. There we go. And how about number 4? Murray picked up the phone. It stopped ringing. Okay, so since okay, so this one would have to be first, and this, oops, this would have to be second. Only because the reason for this is because we're trying to emphasize the fact that the phone stopped ringing. So that means Mari was too late. And we know this especially because we're going to use the word for the phrase by the time. So Mari, so it had, I could do, well, it had stopped ringing by the time Mari had picked up the phone. And we could even change the order, right? So we could say, Mari picked, actually I shouldn't, yeah, I should follow the order of the sentences. What am I doing? Mari picked up the phone by the time it had stopped ringing. Yeah, I should follow the order of the sentences. So the first sentence should go first, even though it's maybe not in the order, right? Okay. So let's try number 5. My sister told me I didn't realize my sweater was on backwards. So this would obviously be first, and then my sister would tell me. Okay, that's my sister, right? So my sister, oh wait, yeah, told me until I hadn't realized. Oh no, wait a minute. Maybe, no, this order is wrong. Sorry, class. I hadn't realized my sweater was on backwards until my sister told me. So we do have to pick the correct order when picking how we put these sentences, because this really wouldn't work if we did this. My sister told me until I realized, or had realized, or hadn't realized, as my sweater. So it's just too confusing about what's, the reason this doesn't work is because it's too confusing about what's first and second. So I just want to put this up here just like that. Okay. So just to be clear, so Nawaf left his house. His mother called. Let's see. So I would say this would be first. And this would be second, right? So we know we're going to start with this first. So Nawaf, because it starts, because we're not going to start with his, right? Nawaf had left his house. Oh, I got this wrong then. I got, see, this is, you got to look at the time order phrase. So that would mean this is second and this is first when his mother called. Okay, so you really have to think about which event is most likely to happen first, and then which one is second. And so Nawaf, in this sentence, Nawaf missed the phone call, right? And how about number 7? I drank the cup of coffee. I realized it wasn't mine. Ooh, most likely this happened first, and then this happened second, right? Yeah, because you would drink the cup. Yeah. Okay, so because that would be surprising, right? So I had drank the cup coffee, oops, too many F's, before I realized it wasn't mine. Okay, and last one, we have the airport, our plane departed. Okay, so, okay, so most likely this happened first and this happened second. We were at the airport by the time. Let's see, what would happen? I kind of feel like it's happened at the same time. Yeah. So actually, no. Where's my eraser? This would happen first. Oh, no. No, this would happen first and this would happen second, right? So it's a little more dramatic that way, right? We had arrived airport. Oh, no. We arrived, sorry, at the airport by the time our plane. No. This would be first. And they're kind of at the same time, really. It's really confusing, isn't it? So we had arrived at the airport by the time our plane departed. It's kind of tricky, that one. I think I would accept. We arrived by the time our plane. Yeah, I would accept both of these. Both of those would be right because they're essentially saying, let's see. Yeah, because they're essentially saying we got to the airport and the plane left. So I would say both of these are right. Okay. All right. So class, that's all the time we have. If you have any questions, please email me, and I hope this was helpful. Take care.